Welcome to everybody to the final session for today for the Low Code, No Code Day of Devtoberfest. I'm Dan Robleski, and I'm the developer advocate in charge of low code and no code tooling. All today we had sessions about SAP Business Application Studio, and I'm joined with Christoph. Hi, Christoph.
Hi, Daniel. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Christoph is going to basically follow up on Tim's application that he created with the low-code tool, but enhance it with analytical charts and other things with low-code tooling. The only thing I'll say, since we have no more sessions today, is don't forget to get points for attending the sessions today. I've sent a link, I've put a link in the chat where you can validate that you've been here and get points for the Devtoberfest contest. So go ahead, Christoph.
Okay, thanks, Daniel. Yeah, so agenda is quite short. I will give a quick introduction. We'll talk about what we are doing in this session. Then the big part will be the demo. And finally, I will give a summary and some advertising about links and stuff where you can read more. Okay, so what we are using in that demo, we are using SAP Business Application Studio. As in the other sessions for low code, no code, we are using the low code perspective. So we are not touching code. We are using what we are presented in that dev space. We are using a SAP Fiori elements-based sample application. It is already a bit more sophisticated than the one which created by Tim, but it is the same scenario. And I will using also the CDS graphical modeler to change some service setting. And finally, I'm using the SAP Fiori tools to edit my application in the desired way. Okay, so what is not covered in the session, and then I'm assuming that you can see that in the other sessions from Tim, from Liat, and from Ludo. So how you set up your whole environment, BTP setup, bus setup, low code, no code setup, and also the initial app creation you can see in Tim's presentation. And I will also not deal with deployment. This was also covered in other sessions. Okay, with this, let's go for the demo. Okay, so. Okay, this is a familiar dev space for low code, no code. So it is mainly consisting of this home screen as a starting point for you, as a primary point, where you see everything about your project. Yeah, you see here the data models, you see the services which were created on top of the data models, you see your sample data, you see the user interfaces and user roles and other stuff. Everything is available from here. So I have already created an application as a starting point, and I will quickly run you through that application and also show you what I want to improve in the next half an hour and show you more capabilities of our low code, no code offering. Okay, let's go to the preview. I already started it for the app. This is an app consisting of a list report containing capital expenditure requests. I have also made use of the sample data. So I have one entry created by hand, and then other entries were created with the sample data editor. And yeah, you see, this is a big list with some information like what is the title, the total cost here, the type, hardware or software, and which business unit has issued that. And here on the other side, you see more numbers. And you even don't see all the numbers. You have to click on the show more per row, okay, to move that a bit around so that you can actually see it and not the sharing. Okay, so when I click here on the details, and I see all the other numbers and information. So how many energy so the energy efficiency based in percent for that request, the CO2 efficiency, the savings on the energy front and saving on the water front. And you see a lot of numbers. Okay, this is nice, the list. So you can also drill down in the details. Let's go for that one entry here. And here you see different sections were created before, where you see information grouped, like some header data, some information about who requested that, the investment needed, and from whom, and some reasoning, and finally the sustainability numbers. Okay, this is all nice, but I'm now the person basically who want to analyze which one are the requests which should likely be accepted, and also I want to see how the distribution is, how much energy savings we can get per category, for example, from hardware changes, from software changes, or which business unit has the most savings. So this is very cumbersome here with that list. So I think the best would be that I first have a filter, so I can at least filter by the type and by the business unit. You see here on top there are no filters. Okay, first thing, let's add some filters. Okay, for this, I'm editing now my user interface. So I click here in the user interface on the name of my app, and then the page map is open, which gives you a schematic view of the application. As said, application consists of a list report and object page. So you would like to have the filter on the list report. That's why we are going into the page editor to add the filters. And here you also see a schematic view of your application. And here filters, you see it's empty. Let's add the type. Okay, and I think we need also the business unit. Yep. Okay. You can multi-select here, so add, and this will add both filters. Okay, so let's go back to our preview and refresh, because this is all what I need to do to add the filters. And voila, I have the filters. Okay, let's look how the filters work. Type, okay, here hardware, software. Let's drill down. We have here hardware. Okay, cool. We can already filter for all the hardware requests or hardware-based requests. Okay, what is with the business unit? Okay, this doesn't look good. So I have to enter concrete values, but I don't know values. This doesn't look like a nice value help here. So let's go back to our application and add a value help. Okay, business unit. So it has no value help. So that's why I'm going to the display type here in the property panel. Okay, so and what do I have for options, or can I add a value help? So there are some pieces from the property already pre-filled, and now I have to also define where the name should come from, so the values actually, and I do want to have them displayed the same way as a type, only with the text, and the ID I don't care. Okay, drop down is default, so this is good. I do not need any extra information. Let's add it. Okay, so let's go back and refresh. So, it looks much better. So I have now my drop-down list, and I can really nicely filter for a business unit. Okay, but okay, I see actually the value help here in the drop-down doesn't match to what I see then finally in the field. This is not nice, because I also want to omit the ID. Let's go back. Do I have other options? Yes, I have another option. I have the option to also define it for the text itself, for the value when it's in the field. And here's a nice button. Because I have already defined the value help, I can just sync it with what I defined before, and everything is done automatically, and we are done. Okay, click here. Voila, and we have it as wished. Okay, good. So this is already an improvement. So next one, what I don't like personally is, actually, I'm very interested in that energy efficiency and cost savings numbers, but they are not displayed per default because they are not considered as important for the responsive design here. And I have not so much space. That's why let's change that and put them on put them on high importance. Okay, you can change that here for each column. And I'm putting to high, putting this to high, then this to high, and finally putting this to high. Okay. Let's go back, whether this actually worked. And everything was done. Perfect. So now I basically see the request ID, the title, and I see the actual savings. But to be honest, yeah, filtering is okay, but yeah, I do want to see some aggregated information. I would like to know how many savings are proposed for hardware, software, or for which business unit. And for this, actually, you know, charts are best. So let's go back. Can I add a chart? Okay, go back and maybe collapse that, so if you have more space. Here's an add chart button. Okay, but the add chart button tells me that still some stuff is missing. Yeah, the reason is because in the modeling part, we didn't foresee the usage of aggregation methods. So this is something actually you have to declare on the service level, because the service has to, when it's compiled then by the CAP environment, has to create code for the possibility to actually sum up data or average data and something like that. We have to declare that. And for this, we are going now into the service editor. Okay, CapEx, services, CapEx, click here. This is using now the CDS graphical modeler. Here in ACAP, it's called service editor. I have my CapEx entity, and then go to edit projection. And on the third screen here, after the default aggregation method for projection, I can actually decide now which of the entity, which of the properties should be used for grouping and which should be used for aggregation. Basically telling the runtime then to compile respective code. Okay, I do want to group by type. Group, okay. And I also do want to group by business unit. Yep, so, and here we have the energy efficiency, which is a percentage, so it doesn't make sense to aggregate it actually. So, but the energy savings and the water savings. So these are usually candidates for an aggregation. So to see the sum, and the default is sum. And of course, you can also select something else if you want. Sorry, yeah, okay. Update. So let's go back, and you see this is blue now. And also this is a nice feature under the hood, which you may see as a hygiene factor maybe, but it is basically while file watchers looking at all the stuff which is happening here in your environment, it was automatically updated while I was updating the service definition. So via file watchers, it was communicated that I now can add a chart. Let's do it. Okay. I am selecting a chart type, column, and I can select one measure. I can add others more later. Let's make it simple. Okay. So I'm adding now a chart to the list report. So yeah, you see it now. We have not only a table anymore, we have a chart table. Okay, let's verify whether this actually appeared in the preview. Yes, it did. Okay. I have now a chart here with defined groupings or possibilities to group. So the hardware and software, this was a type, and the energy cost savings is the only value which I'm basically aggregating as a summation. Good. Okay. So, and this chart is actually not just isolated here on top, but it is actually combined with a table. So this is a feature of the floor plan provided by SAP Fiori Elements. So if you add a chart here, then you can also use it to filter my table. So for example, if I'm click here on hardware, then my data in the table is filtered for only hardware related data, and the same for software. Good. One thing which is important, what I define here, yeah, as a developer is basically a default. Yeah, so I define something which then goes out with the deployed and shipped app. but the developer at any time can change that. So it's important to know this is basically just the foreseen development default. But as a user at the end, I can decide which chart I actually want. And I also can modify which properties should be displayed and save that in a variant for myself, or the key user can use it to save variants for departments or companies. So what else feature I have here on this page? I can also switch the view. So I can say maybe I would only see the chart or would only see the table or both. Yeah, so I cannot drill down or do much more because I have only one measure and one grouping attribute. Let's add more. So I can here in the property bin, I can add the other one. It's automatically added because there is only one other. So, and that dimension. Okay, good. I can change the order if I want to. So for example, I can put the business unit in front. So I can use here those drag and drop buttons, or I can just do drag and drop. Yeah, and also keyboard navigation is possible at any time. Okay, good. So we have analytical saving and water savings, and we have 2 dimensions. Okay, maybe let's give the chart before we go to the preview, let's give a chart a name because it has no title yet. So my first chart. Not very creative, but yeah, so that we can see it. Okay. Okay, this looks much nicer now. So we have our name of the chart, and then we have 2 dimensions. So we can actually decide which dimension we want to use, and we can also then drill down further. So you can have here a drill down tree, or then go back if you want, and you see different colored the different savings, so the energy cost saving and water savings. Okay, very nice. So this allows me now to much better estimate what are the requests which I have currently on my plate to see how the things are going. Okay, this is one thing. So, but you can also add things to the object page. So let's go to the object page. Yeah, on the object page. Yeah, it looks nice. I have it here in the last section. Maybe I would like to see some of those values because they're important to me at the first glance on top. So you see there's a big empty space here on top, which we can actually fill with stuff. So we can put in header facets. Let's do that. Okay, for this, I'm going back from the page editor to the page map and select the object page. Okay, so here again, I'm seeing a schematic view of the object page you have just seen in the preview. And here we have the header sections. Okay, let's add some header sections. Okay, first, let's add a microchart for the CO2 efficiency. No, let's have a look. So sorry, I forgot. I have to first select which one I want, which microchart. So I want like to bullet microchart. And now I'm able to select the value, and I would like to see the CO2 efficiency here. So now I have to decide what is the max value, and as a percentage, 100 is the max value. And let's add it. Okay, cool. Hopefully. Yes, okay, so I have a bar. It shows me, okay, 20% CO2 efficiency and with a maximum. Nice. Okay, and the other important value I would like to give a more emphasis to is the total cost, because this is the one which then defines what I get, what I have to pay for my value. So let's go back to the page editor for the object page. Okay, let's add another one, and this time I'll add a data point because I just want to see that value very prominently on top. Okay, total cost, total cost. Okay. Yep, total cost. Nice. Good. Let's have a look. Total cost has a label. Okay, the label was auto-generated based on the property name. It's not nice, so let's maybe put another one. Okay, And yeah, what else? Yeah, okay, it needs of course a currency. So currency unit, and luckily in my service, I have a currency unit for the total cost, which is here, currency code. Okay, good. Let's go back to our preview and see what happened. Hey, cool. So now I have the total cost here on top and CO2 efficiency and with a proper currency. Okay, nice. So there's one last thing I would like to show you, a different way you can arrange the charts on the list report. So I said to you, this option, what I choose here first was put the chart together with the table in a linked fashion. Yeah, but you can also do this differently. Let's go back to the list report and delete our chart. Okay, we don't need anymore. We would like to have it in a different way. So we use views instead. So we divide the table in multiple views horizontally. Add a chart view. So basically the same selection here, column, measure. Yeah, we keep that UI simple. So we do not, we allow to add one measure and one dimension only here to have a fast result. You can always add later more stuff, but the more complex maintenance UI is in the property panel. And the goal is always to keep the pop-ups as slim as possible. Okay, now I have a table view and I have a chart view. Okay, how does it look now in the preview? So the preview now I have two tabs. Yeah, the table and the chart. Good. And they are not linked anymore in a way that you can click here and the table is updated, but they are still linked by the filter. So the filter is for both, applied for both. So for example, if I'm filtering for hardware, yeah, and I press the go button, then the table is filtered and the chart is filtered as well. So this is especially useful also if you have multiple entity sets you want to display in one table in the same from the same service, because this allows you to add multiple entity sets. Yeah. So in this case, it's the same entity set, just a different view on it. One's is a chart and one's a table, but for different entity sets, really put out its strength. Okay, so almost finished. So finally, I would like to give you a glimpse on what we actually did code-wise. So you saw no code. Yeah, we just used the toolings from the low-code dev space. But I would like to give you the chance to look at it. In any case, where you see that symbol, this code symbol, then you can click on it and then you can actually see the code. So for example, the chart view is actually this annotation. Yeah, it's highlighted for you. And if we're looking at the whole list, this is what we actually did today. So this is what we did in the last 20 minutes. So we added selection fields. We added value list and value helps, text arrangement. We modified the line item. So line item is a definition which is used for the table because we added the importance for a couple of fields. You'll see that here. That's why it was changed. We added the chart, and we added also data point to the object page and so on. So this is basically what was generated under the hood. So yeah, and that means our tooling doesn't hide anything. So basically you can use the convenience functions and only click and don't touch code ever. But you always can jump to the code and start working with the code. So nobody stops you, and then file watchers make sure that the stuff is reincorporated then in the tooling, so the tooling can then digest it. So that's why this tooling doesn't limit you in any case. So it's not low code means, and also this dev space environment means you have the possibility to work with convenience tools without touching the code, but you do not need to. Yeah, so basically you can always go to the code and change things manually at any time. So we are not creating any unreadable things, so it's all editable by developers. Okay, so this is basically the end of my demo. I would like to go back quickly to the slides for a summary. Okay, what we did achieve. So we did achieve a bit more than I've written here because I had the time to do that. So we added filters to the list report with a proper value help. We used the CDS graphical modeler to declare aggregatable group properties. Then we added a chart using the page editor on the list report. We added a bullet microchart and a data point to the object page header facet and a couple things more. And until I showed you the code, basically it was only more or less intuitive working with the tools which are integrated into the low-code dev space. So this summarizes again. So we do not need to touch it, but you are always free to edit the code at any time, and it is all readable and you can understand it. It's not something cryptic or hidden or so. Yeah. And of course, during all the time, we made use of the capabilities of SAP Fiori Elements floor plans. So if you would have to code this all in the freestyle UI5 manner, this would of course be much more effort. So that's why at the end, the code which you saw were only annotations basically. Relatively small piece, yeah, for all those things which we did. And this is basically thanks to the SAP Fiori Elements floor plans. And finally, yeah, so this is maybe also very important. We use the low-code perspective, but all the features you saw today are available as extensions in any bus environment and also for Visual Studio Code from the Microsoft Marketplace for this. So there was nothing what I showed today which is only available inside the low-code dev space, except that integrated environment with a home screen. So basically that home perspective and the possibility to have that all integrated with buttons for preview and all these things. So this integrated environment where everything is connected and streamlined. This is only low-code. But the individual tools like the Graphical modeler and also the Fiori tools, which you saw here, are available for any bus instance. Okay, so further readings. So I'm not sure, Daniel, will the slides be available to the audience?
I don't think so.
Okay, good. Then maybe I will put a couple of those links then in the chat. Maybe
that would be good.
Would
can I ask you a favor?
Yeah.
Just to remind us where we started. All of the stuff that you did, how did we get started? Can you show in the Business Application Studio?
So what do you mean? What is started? So where we
right. We first wanted to add a chart. We wanted to add filtering.
Yeah, right.
Where's the first thing we went?
I'm not sure what you mean. So
just to remind people how we got started.
So you mean the starting application?
Right, the starting application, and then how did we open up all of the tools?
Okay, but then I have to delete a couple of things. This is
okay. No, you don't have to go through it. People will watch the video again.
I can. It's very easy. You can always delete things, and you have an undo button.
No, you don't have to start from the beginning, but just close all the tooling.
Close everything.
Yeah. Okay, so now I'm here, and I created my application. Now I wanted to get started.
User interface.
Right.
Page map. Show you the pages. Click on edit, which page I want. See the schematic view and start working, like adding my filters and so on. And if I want to do some property changes on the individual things,
very good.
Property panel. And just if you don't like the description, you can also disable the descriptions, and you can.
Very good. You don't have to go through all of it. I just wanted to.
There's a lot more productivity.
We were deep into the page editor, into the page map, and
yes,
we were there for a while. So I just wanted to remind people how we started. Okay. Yeah. I don't think there are any. Oh, there might be a question.
So
There's a
let me
question,
maybe,
do we have to post, update, delete scenarios possible if we are using ABAP CDS instead of CAP CDS? I don't know if that's
yeah, in the
makes sense.
low-code environment. So if you, I'm not sure whether the low-code environment is capable of using ABAP CDS services. What you can do, you can import external services. This is possible. And yeah, then but all the tools work the same. Then they would write local annotations because there's no write back. So we are not writing back into an external ABAP system or any external system. So we only we keep everything local together with the project. I'm not sure whether this answers the question.
I don't see any more questions. Christoph, thanks so much. It's amazing how much you can do, you know, before you even touch the code. So we've seen a lot of that today in Business Application Studio. So I appreciate you coming and telling us about the graphical things that we can do as well.
Yeah, so this was a more sophisticated, not only simple fields and stuff. So all of you saw in Tim's demo is a bit more. Okay, let's have a look at the question. All the tools are available also in this code except for the, yeah, Mariana is answering. Perfect, good. Is the tools working with code? Yes. Do we have post, update, delete scenarios possible if you are using? I think, as I said, you cannot write back into an external ABAP system, not with that setup. So, but I'm not fully unsure. So probably it's a better question to ask that to the Business Application Studio guys. Okay.
I think we've covered all the questions.
Looks like.
So again, thank you so much, Christoph, and thanks everybody for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Sure. Thank you so much. Everybody.
And also thanks, Mariana, for taking the questions. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Everybody have a good day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.